If I say pipeline, you might be thinking of manufacturing, digital development, probably video games too. Not everyone knows that stuff like comic books have pipelines though. The digital era of comics has made the environment even more competitive and cutthroat than it was. So of course, indie artists are forced to pull some tricks to speed their process. These tricks being pipelines. However, the more I read on these online platforms, the more evident it became that many of them relied on the same pipeline, using the same downloadable assets to use in their comics. In the gaming industry, we've at times referred to this as asset flipping, and it was a plague in many indie titles. Now indie game consumers can boot up a game and tell pretty quickly that a game is flipping assets from the Unity store. My theory was, and is, that eventually something similar might happen to the digital comic market. Readers would open a new comic and realize that the same assets have been flipped through the pages, and subsequently put the comic away out of boredom. So I wanted to try something. I wanted to make my own pipeline for a comic. After a bit of researching on what kind of pipeline we would need to bring this particular story to life, I came up with a small toolbox worth of assets. The first tool was extensive references. These references were made so that volunteers or paid workers later would be able to understand the design and the visual philosophy of the story immediately. These included, among other things, de-standardized turnaround sheets, expression sheets, and prop sheets. But of course, you can't always get volunteers to help you, and that's why I made a few more tools available to myself. The second tool was angle atlases. Sometimes drawing particular angles of the face can be extremely time-consuming. The angle atlases was made by first roughly assembling the face of a character in Fuse. Then the face was rotated on a 6-point axis and screenshot. Then traced over in a 2D sheet where we could alter and add the peculiarities of the characters that Fuse couldn't. To use the atlas, me or my assistant would simply open the atlas, grab the head we needed and paste it into the sketch layers of the comic page. Now we could trace over it and apply any expression or detailing that we needed for the particular frame. Our third tool was the architectural models. While we have not gotten to any particular architecture in our test chapter, we built a selection of 3D models to help us trace up backgrounds when necessary. Custom brushes. One of the last big tools we made was the custom brush set. Custom brushes allows the artist to make a stamp-like brush for their painting or drawing software. We needed a handful of these brushes. Some of our brushes helped us draw up the terrain quicker, like the dirt brushes or the grass brushes. But moreover, we also made over 14 custom leaf brushes based on the trees that we knew would grow in these environments. These saw extensive use in our test chapter. There were many other small features of the pipeline that we got through, but never saw extensive use of in the chapter so far. But they are projected to be used in the future as the comic progresses. As is, the testing of our pipeline has been met positively. Only when our readers were explicitly asked to point out the parts of the page that they thought would be part of the pipeline, did some of them figure out which parts of the art were expedited by the pipeline. When asked if knowing this interfered with their reading experience, they reported it did not. These tests were conducted on a beta reader panel picked out from our projected demographic, and a comic author panel, which had 2 published indie comic artists on it. The link for the test chapter is here, currently exclusive only to those who visit the exhibit at the Royal Academy and this particular stream. Thank you for your time, and I look forward to answering your questions.